Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so let's just run through. So what you've got there is you've got a snapshot of the manual you get from a full weekend. As I said, we haven't got time to do absolutely everything. We'll get as much as we can done, and at your pace really, and take away. But obviously there is opportunities to come on and experience the full weekend. But yeah, see how you feel at the end of it. Yeah. There may be some selling throughout this, so just be aware. I might sell. If I sell, I'll give you the. I'm doing the salesman wink. All right, just so you know, I'm not doing anything underhand. Okay, brilliant. So let's just welcome logistics. So great times. We're going to put some music on. There'll be a song I'll tell you, and by the end of the music, please be sat down by the end of that song. I'll play it for you in a bit. Or else you don't want to be the last one walking in the room. You know? Like your exam, isn't it? You know, or whatever, getting in there. Lunch, we will stop for a short lunch. It's quite a short day. There is a cafe if you haven't got anything with you. But probably only like 15, 20 minutes. So just scoff something down or sit there and eat or whatever. Probably sort of training. Yeah, is it? So yeah, timers might live with that. If not, have a late lunch, early lunch. I mean, sorry, late breakfast. Fire exits, yeah. So there's multiple fire exits, but the main one will just be where you came with. So that manual is yours to keep. So we're not going to be taking them in at the end. There is some spare paper if you haven't got with you to add extra notes. And don't worry about what you write in there because that's completely for you. Okay? There's no spelling test or anything like that. Awesome. Okay. So bit of yeah. So what we'd ask is use this for yourself only. So this isn't a training. So I do train practitioners and master practitioners to work in coaching therapy. But this is for you. Okay. So don't go. When I learned timeline therapy, I was like, I'm going to go and save everybody. I'm like, sit down, float above the timeline, go back in the past. One, I learned, not everybody needs saving, and two, you haven't got the right. The right is in they've not asked you. They might not be a willing participant. Yeah, a couple of pages if you need to. The trademarks are enforced by law, so I've got a trademark here. I'm not sure if you got this. You might have this in your page 2. But anyway, it's just a trademark. So, okay, timeline therapy is a registered trademark, and it is actively enforced. So, paracetamol was a trademark, but it was never enforced. So everybody now, how many paracetamol brands can you get? NLP, neuro linguistic programming coaching, it was a trademark, but it was never enforced. So people kind of just learn about it, take it on, and so that what it does is it means that the training can be watered down because people are kind of just ripping it off and training it. Whereas timeline therapy, for example, is if you start trading and start making claims, you'll get a letter in the post, cease and desist, and it costs a lot of money to sort of do that. That's why I pay into boards that protect the training. Brilliant. Obviously, they said if you are certified, then as a practitioner, you can use the techniques with other people. Lovely. I think there's one more on that one. Yeah, do all the exercises, special ability. Now, it's not heavily exercised, this one. There's just a couple of bits where you can, instead of me sitting there asking you individually things, you can pair up and ask each other, or you can make a group and go, try and change it up a little bit. So if you know each other quite well, it might be quite fun to work with other people. Do it, practice what you already know. So I know it looks like a little bit like a seance in here, or like tarot readings and stuff like that. It's all great, but stick to what we're working on. Be on time. Yeah, you've all done that. Tick. Talk early front to back. Yeah, so I mean it's a very small group, so I don't think we're going to get too many distractions, and girls maybe. No. Don't talk, but yeah, well. Keep distraction management. So recording, please don't. I don't think you record this. I'm just so you're aware. I'm recording this just for myself at the moment. It's just literally going to just be recording the screen and sharing the screen. So it's just recording the PowerPoint and me talking over it. If you've got a problem with that, have a chat with me over side, and I can edit you out. But we're not going to, we don't have to use names and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty anonymous. Cool. Was that right? Everyone happy? Yeah, lovely. Brilliant. So why we're here. So my goal for you is to take away, have an experience of coaching, therapy, timeline therapy, NLP, which I'll define a little bit later, hypnosis, hypnotherapy. It's all going to be wrapped up in what we're doing, so that you can come here with, if it's problems you come to work on, if it's ideas that you want to get, you want to start something new, you'll walk away at the end of this with either out your problem or a good strategy of what to do next. Yeah, as I said, we are working in a sort of small time frame. Over a weekend, we can make big promises. But my aim today is, anyone good at anger? Anyone good at anger? Anyone good at sadness? Yeah, I'm not the emotion police. You could level me. But yeah, if we get time, we'll get to that point and we'll get rid of some anger, get rid of some sadness. There are more emotions to get rid of, but we'll cross that as we come. Maybe anxiety. Anxiety. Yeah, I had that this morning. Yeah, we can get rid of that. That's really quick. That one. We don't even need music for that one. It's a really quick to solve. So that's my goal for the training. Hopefully that's aligned with what you've come for, what you're looking for. Feel free to ask questions. I will ask at the end of segments to confirm that you've learned things. I've got to learn. Oh, shit. This is what I thought. This is where your conscious mind sort of sits you down and runs off. And as long as your unconscious mind is listening to what I'm about to say, because who knows what I'll say next. And at some level, it might sound familiar to you because it's you. Yeah, this is about people, and you are people, right? Yeah. You think so? Yeah. If you're not people, maybe you're in the wrong class. Yeah. Lovely. Okay. Yeah.
All get involved. No, what did I say? Oh, you've left them in the car.
Who's this? The multiple personalities. Yeah. We'll work with one person at a time. Brilliant. Okay. Right then. So the big picture, we're going to look at our thinking. Because we all think. Yeah. Do you think about your thoughts? Can you think about your thoughts?
Yeah.
Can you not think about thinking about something? No, you gotta not think about it. You gotta think about something first. Yeah. It's like, don't think of a blue tree. No, I thought of a blue tree. And then there's some smart ass go, I thought of a blue elephant. And then you go, oh, okay. But you're not thinking of the blue tree. You go think about the blue elephant, and then you kind of get a bit confused in between. Look at how thinking determines our behavior. Because some people think, well, I just act, and that's it. Well, actually, no. A thought precedes an action. Well, actually, a thought precedes a feeling. Feeling then precedes an action. And if we can break that down, what we do is we get the pattern. And if we can get that pattern, say it's a negative pattern, a problem pattern, we can put things in place, take things away that will end up with a different result. Yeah. It's like when you've ever had those thoughts in your head that just keep coming. And I always think, like, imagine if you had a doorstep salesperson that was banging on your door all the time. You'd probably get fed up. You might be, polite the first time, maybe a little bit strict the next time, and third time you'd be like, F off. Yeah. Imagine doing that to your thoughts, those negative thoughts you don't want anymore. Slam the door in the face and say, no, stop. Have you ever told yourself? If you all say to yourself, now stop. Have you done that? Can you do it? Can you say stop? Can't hear you. Can anyone say stop? No. Can you say stop? Yeah. Can you say stop? No. Yeah. You can say it. Yeah. Yeah. You say stop. If you say that enough, you actually cause a stop in your brain. Yeah. What do you see when you say stop in your mind? Does anybody make pictures in their mind? Yeah. When you think about things. Yeah. So usually when you say stop, people see like some sort of stop. It could be a road sign, or it could be a red light, whatever. It actually causes a bit of a break. And all that does is give you a second or two to decide what to do next. Yeah. It's like in first aid, people walk in and last first aid training I did, and the lady did this thing with her hands. And I was like, what the hell's that? It's first aid. She says, well, what that does is it gives me a break before I do anything. So I get my gloves on, I do this, and then that's before I start acting. Yeah? And all it does is so you don't just run in and flap and start running. You know, it's that little bit of a pause just to then take a breath to move forward. Look at our values. Look at setting goals, removing negative emotions, removing limiting beliefs, creating your future. So, apologies. I think what we'll get is we'll look at sort of goal setting. We probably won't get fully into goal setting. We'll remove some negative emotions. Which is really quick. It's not a lot of time. Limiting decisions we'll kind of define, but we probably won't get to. And creating your future, we won't get to that. But all these little elements, there'll be enough for you to sort of take some value off. That's okay. It's quite a nice little quote for you there. So, vulnerability. Now, we're all human. I do think we're all kind of special in our own way, in a good way. But we can be vulnerable. So you come here today, and I respect you to come here because it can be hard, and you're essentially putting your vulnerabilities out on display. But also, so am I, as a trainer, and there's many ways to train personal development, coaching, therapy, and they've all got their strengths in their own way. So, for me to share this is my life's work that I'm sharing with you. And it wasn't learned from going to university. It wasn't learned from just doing courses. I'm not sat here now just because I was, I passed a bunch of certificates. Yeah. I learned a lot along the way because I've been through it. Yeah. And I'm sure you've got your own stories and your own sort of experiences. So be kind. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to me more than anything. And yeah, relax and just enjoy it. We want to have fun today. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't fun. So I said this morning, didn't I? I've got not dressed in the smartest way, but I'm glad nobody's wore a suit. So, and as you see, I'm not wearing night trainers. I nearly did. I nearly put some night trainers on this morning, didn't I? And Jess was like, absolutely not. Get them off. Yeah. So I've scrubbed my boots up and put the boots up. But you heard of Nike? You heard of the brand Nike? Yeah. And does anybody know their slogan? Just do it. But it never used to be just do it. It was just try it when they first started. So many years ago, when Nike started, they got big. They had the brand, they had the slogan, just try it. So what they did is they opened the stores, they did the advertising, and people came in droves, flooded in, yeah, and they just tried it. Yeah, they put the shoes on and walked around the trainers, looked really nice in the mirror, and put them back in the box and put them back on the shelf. Just tried them out. Now, over a while, this started to happen, quite frequently, and they weren't really making any sales. They're sort of worried now. They're going, oh no, we're not making any sales. What are we going to do next? So in their sort of infinite wisdom, they went. The Nike sort of powers that be went and hired some marketers, and these marketers were trained in neurolinguistic programming, which is about the mind and the language that controls your mind, or vice versa, and physiology, etc., and the programs that we run. And they said, okay, great, you've got a product, the product's really good. What's your slogan? Everyone's like as the price and all that sort of stuff, and loving it, all that sort of stuff. And they said, well, let's just try it. And these marketers understanding the presuppositions in language, understanding how we work and how we assemble things in our mind, said, okay, and I'm going to ask you now, can everyone put the hand in the air? Can you all put your hand in there? Put your hand in there, please. Yeah, thank you very much. Just like that. Yeah. Okay, don't put your hand in there. Right, now I just want you to try and put your hand in there. But really try this time, like this. Really try. Did anyone try? Put the hand in there. Did it really try? Really try? Did you try?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I did.
So just like an elephant, you know, how we've been to the zoo, you've seen, you know, you've got big, powerful elephants walking around. Yeah, big, powerful elephant. And how's it getting led around the zoo? By just some little human with a little string around its neck, you know, maybe a little stick that pushes it. It's like a 40-ton elephant. But that elephant, right, is just doing what's done. Okay. So do you know how they train elephants? Not very nice, so excuse any triggers, but yeah, what they do is when they're small, they put a really heavy chain on the neck and they put a stake in the ground. Yeah, you might see them in Thailand and stuff like that. That's what they do. And the elephant, the baby elephant, will instinctively try its best to get away. And it pulls and pulls and pulls until one day it gives up. It gives up trying to pull away from that situation because it's got that heavy chain around its neck. You know what they say about elephants? Chickens. Chickens. And vegetarians. Yeah. Oh, whoops. Okay. Please take this in a nice way. Okay. But you used to let me have a companion now, so yeah. Right. So, favourite national? Well, one of the favourite nationals. So, chicken. So, everyone heard of KFC? Yeah. So Colonel Sanders, you know, I think he was like in the 60s when he decided to take his famous fried chicken recipe. Didn't like, lost his job, lost his industry, you know, put his skin. Decided to go, right, I'm taking this recipe because I think it's good and my family was good and I'm going to sell it to the world. Imagine that, 60 years old, you know, thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that, I'm going to drop everything, you know, risk all the pension, everything like that. He went out. Do you know how many times he was refused? Bank loans, endorsements. It wasn't refused once. He wasn't refused 100 times. He wasn't refused. He was refused 1,009 times. He was knocked back, time and time and time again. And chicken, you ever heard the story of that chicken little? It runs around saying that the sky is falling, the sky is falling. You know, who's looking for the disaster? You know, what's keeping the sky up? Well, you imagine inside all of us, we've got a little chicken. Yeah. Yeah. At times, you know, sometimes, you know, have you ever heard of stressed chicken? Yeah. And Colonel Sanders had a chicken inside. Yeah. And it must have been squawking, it must have been flapping. Every single time he got knocked back and told, no, you're not good enough, you can't do it, that's not good, we're not going to do any money. What did he do with his chicken?
He ate it.
Maybe it was vegetarian. So myself, yeah, talk about full circle. As I mentioned before, vulnerability, etc. I came to these techniques because I needed them. Yeah. At a young age, joined the military, went off to the tours in Iraq, came back, didn't understand what was going on, struggling with negative emotions, anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, and more. You know, and found myself kind of just, you know, spiraling out of control by the army. Was in a place where I've done everything I want to do in my life. Like 20 years old. You know, what will I do with the rest of it? Until one day, you know, I've got invited along to a seminar, a bit like this, and down in Cornwall. But there was more people in the room, and it was all veterans, all military veterans. 30. And talk about rapport. We've heard about rapport. We'll be able to sort of people sit in the room and listen and talk and accept what you say. Now, if you ever needed rapport, you know, there's 30 kind of battle-hardened veterans in the room, and we sat down and they started talking about your unconscious mind. Started talking about therapy. Started talking about emotions. Men don't talk about emotions, especially not soldiers. You know, but everybody stayed. Anyway, it was a 2-day event, and I sat there and they started talking about these things and they showed me through this sort of therapy, and I was just like, okay, I'll just humour you. You know, the food's quite nice, it's nice to break. Yeah, so what? So I'll just pretend, you know, I'll just go through what you're doing and you're telling me what's in my mind. So I'm doing it, no kind of like eureka moment. Yeah, I could walk and this and that. Anyway, a few weeks later, I went home, had a probably went out for a drink or whatever, and somebody said something and probably offended me. And usually I would just flash straight to home. Yeah. And even the people I was with kind of took like a step back because they were expecting that, you know, like when you drop a bomb in a like this, you know. And I knew I should be flashing to that point, but I didn't. I didn't get that kind of ignite. So from that point, I thought I'm onto something. And for me, emotion was the biggest thing. I had counselling, therapy, coaching, everything. But it never shifted the emotion. Helped in all its own little ways, but it didn't shift the emotion until I come across Thomas Therapy and talk about full circle. Everyone heard of Houdini? Yeah. So Houdini, anyone not heard of Houdini? Yeah. So Houdini was a big showman, wasn't he? Many years ago, and he used to put these big spectacles on. A bit like Darren Brown does now, and all that sort of stuff. But back then, before you had lights, and you know, proper lights and cameras and stuff like that, he used to do all, you know, in live audiences. And on this occasion, he was in Vegas, I think, and he had a show coming up. And to sell tickets back then, before social media, he put a little spectacle on, and he said, "All right, the local police station just been built, state of the art, Yale lock, everything. Yeah, I will escape from that cell. You bang me up, and I'll escape." So on this occasion, he walked down, and all the paparazzi and the press, you know, everyone's there, and he sort of walked through, and they just put him in the cell and closed the door. So not many people know that Houdini actually was a master locksmith, and he could unpick any lock. Yeah, there's no magic to it. I mean, there's magic in other things he did, but in this one, he used to conceal a bit of wire on his person, and then he would take the wire out and just unpick the lock. So on this occasion, yeah, he waited 15, 20 minutes, let the anticipation build up a little bit, then we'll switch straight out. And he gets the piece of wire out and he starts picking and picking. So being a master locksmith, he knew that any good lock could take, you know, 5 to 15 minutes to unpick. So after sort of 15, 20 minutes, he was fine. You know, he just keep picking and picking, picking. Half an hour goes by. And it's quite hot right there. So there's no air conditioning in the cell, so he starts to sweat a little bit. And maybe starts to get this little bit of self-doubt. But he's like, no, I've been in tough positions, you know, underwater and all that sort of stuff. So he continues picking and picking, picking. An hour goes by. He starts to doubt himself and think, what's going on now? It's never took this long to pick it up. But he's like, I've got to get out, right? So I'll continue picking and picking and picking for a lot. He's sweating, he's doubting himself, he's worrying, he's looking at the time thinking, what the hell? What's everyone going to think? How am I going to get out of this? So today, we're going to talk about our minds. It's not gone to sleep. Ash, you put it to sleep. Okay, so we are going to talk about themes. So, themes of our minds. Everyone happy to get going? Everyone all right?
Yeah.
Good, nice. So, the themes of our mind are empowerment. Okay, so what's what we're going to cover today? We're going to cover empowerment. We're going to cover perceptions, projection. We're going to cover neurotransmitter that bathes every cell in the body, which sounds quite jargony. Okay, but don't worry, I'll unpack that. It's a really simple solution. And we're going to cover responsibility for change. Everyone happy with that? Cool. So let's talk about focus. So we have a quote here. I have a policy. I never listen to anyone explain why they can't do something. He added that he didn't want to be convinced by them. Yeah. It says Will Smith there, but I've heard it from probably multiple actors. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, people have been in a lot worse positions than other people, and they've still managed to get to a point where they can achieve. They've become stars or whatever. And if they went back to their sort of neighborhood or their places where they used to work and all this sort of stuff, and then people got a similar story to them, they'd probably say, "Well, I couldn't do that because, I'm stuck in a rubbish job. I've got no money. I'm this, that, and the other. Bad upbringing." But actually, people have done it and gone forward. But this is our limitations, isn't it? And some people fight for their limitations. In this work, we ask you to give up your limitations because we don't care about your excuses. Yeah, we care about you as people, but we don't care about your excuses. Yeah, why would you fight for them? They're the things holding you back. Yeah, we invite you to look at it a different avenue. Okay, so comfort zone. Everyone heard of the comfort zone? Yeah. So this is you in the comfort zone. Yeah. And maybe this is where you want to get to. Anyone ever felt like that? Okay. So yeah, I wish I could be there, but I'm too scared to change. Now, the thing with the comfort zone, it's like the funny bone. People say, "Oh, it's comfortable." Well, it's not, is it? Okay? It might just be safe because that's all you know. Yeah. But it's like you can't, you ever hit your funny bone, and well, it's only funny to everyone else. It's not funny to you. It bloody hurts, right? Okay, and that's what happens. Okay, so let's look at this as a little sort of graph. Then you've got quality of life. You've got really good, really bad, and then you've got the grey zone. Yeah, all the comfort zone, whatever you want to call it. Now, pray that you get to that point that's really good. No one's ever said, "Oh, my life's too good. Life's too good. It's too great. Everyone's too amazing. Got no problem." That's never been a problem. Yeah. Really bad. We want to obviously avoid really bad. No. And actually, some people wait till it's too bad. Or some people, it's not bad enough. The reason they don't change, the reason they don't turn up today, is because it's not bad enough. Yeah. If they're looking to make changes, it's not the change is not. You really want it. Yeah. Because you're sick of it. And over time, obviously, you can see. Now, that's life, isn't it? And I think that's understanding, that actually it's not about saying, "Well, I'm just going to walk around like heads in the clouds and, or I'm going to walk around miserable." It's about saying, actually, yeah, life is, that's enjoying the highs and it's riding out the lows. Yeah. It's unrealistic to think that we can just get to that complete plane of everything's, hunky-dory, because things will happen. But if you've got the right skill set, you've got the right mindset, you can deal with it. Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's about building resilience. That makes sense? Or am I waffling? No? Yeah, good. Okay. So your turn. I've told you why I'm here. Now it's time for you to tell me, tell yourselves why you're here. Okay. You can share them if you wish. But what I'm going to do, you've got some paper, you've got in your manuals, I think you've got a page that says goals for the workshop. Yeah, you can collect some of them. Okay, lovely. So, what I would say is make your goals so big that this is the most important training you've ever taken. The reason I say that is because what's the point in setting small goals? Because they're easy to achieve. And two, if you set a massive goal, I'm going to make £1 million this year in profit, then if you only get 3/4 of the way there, are you going to be crying about it, or are you going to go, "Well, I'll make 3/4 a minute"? Yeah, it's better than aiming small. Any questions on that? Does that sound all right? Let's give you about 7 minutes to write why you're here. I'll put a bit of music on for you to thinking music, if I can get this to work.
this is when my brain goes, it's out there on the tree.
Yeah, I've asked you to.
Yeah,
to
do something.
Snap out of it. But if you want to have a little walk around and spread out in the room, just 7 minutes. Get yourself a
Yeah.
just think about why. A lot of people don't ask themselves why they do things. They focus on what they want, they focus on how it's going to happen, but they don't focus on why. Yeah. Or you go, there's two whys, right? There's why did you do that? Or why the hell did I do that? Yeah, head and hands.
And that's why you
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to think ahead. Okay? Put something out in the future that is good for you. A lot of people don't set goals. If you don't set goals, you don't set a destination, you'll just end up anywhere. And anywhere might do for some people, but not for you. Yeah, I was going to say to her she can stand up when she comes back if she wants. Yeah. But if she wants to stand up, once had someone laying on a yoga mat. They're like, do you mind? Will it distract you? That's fine. So whole people sat there and then just sort of laid on a yoga mat out in the front. If it helps, you wouldn't have come here unless you were at some level. Sympathy. Yeah, as many as you want. Comfort break. So feel free if you're done. There's loads of them right there. It's quite cool, isn't it? We'll see tonight.
I can always smell.
Wow, on the right track. Nothing else to be asleep.
Sorry, I'm trying to do like
You've just stopped the music. Yeah,
the
yeah.
most like annoying noise.
Just say, feel free to stand up, stretch out, do whatever, lay down, use tables, whatever's good for you. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Do you know, I must have seen this. I had a lady once who brought a yoga mat and she just laid down on the yoga mat in front of me, in front of the whole presentation. Yeah, that's it. Can't fall asleep yet. That's the hypnosis section.
I'm passing you a bit my water. Thank you. No, I'll wait to play.
No, I've got yeah, I've got a drink. That's my moment right now.
Hey, the Dalai Lama's been trying to do that for years. Think of nothing. Lovely, lovely. Okay, how was that? How did that go? Easy?
No.
No?
Not very specific.
Yeah. Do you know what? Usually I ask people, what do you want? They come to me and they go, I've got this problem. I'll say, well, what do you want instead? Like, what? What you got this problem? Well, what do you want instead? Well, I don't know. Well, if you don't know what you want instead, how can you get rid of what you've got? Yeah. It's like going into a restaurant and ordering all the things you don't want. I don't want number 42. I don't want this. I don't want fried duck. I don't want that. You wouldn't do that. It takes too much time. You go, well, I want this, that, and the other. Yeah. So this is an exercise to help you get good at focusing on what you want, because your suggestions become evaluations to the unconscious mind. If you focus enough on something you don't want, guess what? You'll either get it or you'll feel like you've got it. Yeah? If you focus enough on something that you really want, you'll either get it or you feel like you've got it. And I know which one I prefer. Yeah. Cool. Any questions? Anything? Anyone want to share anything, or all personal you want to keep to yourselves? Yeah. Anybody got any funny ones?
No, not really.
No. Yeah. No. So, yeah, these are your goals. Don't set a goal for me. I set a goal. They're my goals, aren't they? I hope Ash does this, that, the other. Yeah. Cool. Lovely. Okay. Let's move on then. Everyone good? Everyone right? Okay, you've had a little break. Okay. Now, so the premise for today essentially is all learning, behavior, and change is unconscious. Our unconscious is unconscious. Now, you've heard of your unconscious mind? Have you all heard of it, or is it a little bit? No. You heard of your conscious mind? Has anyone got a mind? Does anybody mind? No? You've heard, yeah, brilliant. So what we're saying, actually, it's like an iceberg. If you looked at an iceberg, they'll say like you've got maybe 10% on the surface and you've got, 90% underneath the water. Yeah, and that's essentially like how our conscious mind and our unconscious mind is represented. Because consciously we go around thinking about things, but how many things can we think about at once? Not a lot. You can't really think about too much simultaneously. Sequentially, thought after thought after thought, but two thoughts at once, I think we're not really cracked that yet. But what about your unconscious mind? So how can you be sat here now doing this training while functioning, while beating your heart, Yeah, by regulating your body temperature, by digesting your food, while breathing. Has anybody thought about their breathing for a while?
No, not
Huh?
until you make
Until you become
Yeah.
conscious. Yeah. What about your sort of the weight of your feet on the floor, or your seat, or you're blinking?
Mm.
Okay. Until I mention it. Yeah. Now all this is going on under the surface, but we're not thinking about it. It's habitual. Yeah, we're creatures of habit, good habits and bad habits. So your problems are habits. Yeah, your problems that happen over and over again are habits. Yeah, just the same as all the good stuff you do in life over and over again. It's a good habit. So if we can understand that actually there's more going on than our conscious mind, because if I said to you, you've got a problem, just don't have a problem anymore, you're going to go, well, Ash, I've got to, but this, that, and the other. But what happens is people go problem, problem, problem. They focus and they hold on to the problems. White knuckle grip, they won't let go of it until they understand that there is a solution. And in order to get to the solution, we've got to let go of our problems slightly. It's okay, they're fine, they're safe, they're there. They're there if you want them back. And you turn your focus on to a possibility. Because what's next to problem? Solution. What's not problem? Everything else. Yeah. What's left of chair? Not chair. You wouldn't sit there, would you? Just in case, yeah. But actually, what we're going to do is we're going to allow ourselves to take a little bit of a free rein and explore more opportunities, because there's more going on to us, right? There's a lot more going on to us than just what meets the eye. Okay. So, for example, what's that? Don't you say this? What's that? Anybody know?
Right.
What kind of angle? Right angle. Wow, I didn't even have to say it was an angle. Yeah, I'm sure you know that. Yeah. That's the right angle. But how do you know it's a right angle? When's the last time that somebody said, "What's that"? Maybe school. But you wasn't. What's that?
Kids' homework.
Kids' homework. Yeah. So you wasn't walking around going, "He's going to ask me in a minute. He's going to ask me what angle that is. He's going to ask me what degrees is that." 90. Did you know I was going to ask you that? You might have had a little suggestion, but you're not the point. What about what's your phone number? You don't have to tell me. But do you all know your phone number?
No, yeah.
Do you know your PIN code?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not walking around going PIN code. Remember your PIN code. Remember your PIN code. Remember your phone number. Remember right angle. Remember 90 degrees. Yeah. There is something going on inside. Yeah. There's storage going on inside. Yeah. Long-term memory, short-term memory. Now all that is in your short-term memory. It's your RAM. Yeah, anybody know computers? Your random access memory, just quickly bang, 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 bang. Yeah. But what year did you leave school? Not you too. 2001. Okay, nice. What was your first primary school teacher's name?
Istanbul.
Yeah. Cool. I like it. Nice. Yeah. So the further we go back, things can get harder. Obviously, not for Nobby. He's got an exceptional brain on him. But the point.
I did 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. It was yesterday. So maybe you got it switched around. Yeah. Cool. But that's the point, right? So in our memory, there's lots of things that we're going to go, oh, I forgot that, and we're quite loose with our language. We say, I can't remember. Well, what does that tell us? It tells us not to remember. Yeah. If you said, I will remember in a minute, it will come to me. Things will become clear. A muddy puddle, let's stand, becomes clear.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't.
No, they don't. You can't remember everything, okay? But the point is, you see what I mean? You've got that quick memory, stuff that you need, and you've got stuff that's way back. What about when you grew up in life, and you were a little kid and you're full of wonderment and excitement and joy for the future, or you started a job or you did something in your life that you really loved, yeah, and you were happy, or a time in your life that you were happy, and then sometimes you forget it because you have some bad times. Yeah, sometimes we need to go back to those times that we get, and learn what we can from it. Okay, so learning. Quite happy that What about, does everybody drive? You don't drive. You drive. No.
I just drive people crazy.
Drive people. Okay, that's a skill, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the very moment you realized, I've learned all the things I need to learn about driving people crazy? Yeah, or about driving. Yeah, or all of a sudden, or about tying your shoelaces. We've all tied our shoelaces before, right? You Velcro. But what happens is, you're a kid, you get told, right, hoop, loop, and swoop, or something like that, and then and you're like, oh, at first you don't know you've got shoelaces. Then you get told about these shoelace things, you got to tie them up, and then you get taught a strategy of how to do it. But it's a chore, and over the years or over the months, weeks, whatever, you're doing it and doing it and doing it, and then one day you tie down, you bend over and you just tie shoelaces. Yeah, you forgot to try and do it, and you just did it. Yeah, so that's how learning works. Consciously, it's hard. When you drive, you're looking in the mirror and you're looking at gears and you're burning the clutch, and then one day you get in and you drive for 50 miles and you don't remember the journey. Yeah, because it goes over to your unconscious mind. Any skill, anything that you've learned over the time will have the same process. Yeah? It's almost when you get bored of it, you know you're getting close to learning it. Yeah, it's when it's really boring, and then one day you're like, oh, just do it. It's easy. Yeah, no resistance. Behavior. Okay, we all learn unconsciously. Yeah, we have imprints on us over the years, in good things and bad things. Yeah? That's why our programming in NLP, we look at how you're programmed. Yeah, and that's not to say, oh, that's it. Well, you're programmed to do that, and that's it. It's not your fault. Okay, probably isn't your fault, but actually, it's your responsibility to look at how we can change that. If we keep doing things that's instilled in us, we need to make some changes. Okay, and they're not necessarily the conscious changes. If it was conscious, it'd be easy. Just don't do it. Yeah, and we tell ourselves that, but don't think of a blue tree. Yeah, do not think of that blue tree with its blue leaves, and whatever you do, don't think about it. Oh, I thought about it. Okay, so what we need to do is focus on what we want instead. Think about a yellow tree. Think how beautiful that yellow tree is with its beautiful yellow leaves. Okay, and then change. So the changes we make, okay, are unconscious, and it's quick. Yeah, some people think, well, I'm X amount of years old, so that's going to take me X amount of time to change. No, change is instant. Change can start straight away. Okay, habits and behaviors, yeah, they take time, but the instant of right, I'm changing this. Yeah, and if you've got the right tools and techniques, NLP, timeline therapy, coaching, hypnosis, these are the techniques that make profound change, miraculous change fast. Yeah, because it's all about getting rid of the things that are blocking you, getting rid of these barriers. But it's like muscle memory. You've got to go away and live your life. So I work with people, I do breakthrough sessions with people. We get to a point where they're clear, they're feeling great, they've got the answers they need, they know where they're going next. But if they choose to go away and do all the old behaviors and focus on the things they don't want to focus on and don't follow the strict rules like the upkeep, yeah, you can make your life better. Because if I had the ability to change to stop that, then I'd be earning a lot more money, right? Okay, and also it would be free will. You cannot take away somebody's free will. Yeah. Awesome. Any questions on that? Happy with? You're all happy now that you have got an unconscious mind?
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely. Awesome. So the way that is relevant is how we put our. So let's say 10% conscious thinking, 90% unconscious. Yeah. That 10% isn't always the same 10%. That 10% can move up and down through that 100%. Yeah. So it's where we put our focus. And so this is Dave. Anybody? Dave, Steve, whatever you want to call him. I think it's a man. So we've got a model of communication. So we all experience the world. Okay? So we experience the world for our 5 senses. So could be a good. So we've got winning the lottery, first kiss, 9/11 attacks. Mixed bag, isn't it? Yeah, probably good with the lottery. Woo, first kiss. Depends who with. Yeah, and 9/11 attacks. Obviously, that's bad. Yeah. So we experience that for our 5 senses. Yeah, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. Now, sounds complicated, but it's what we see, what we hear, what we feel, what we smell, what we taste. That is how you experience the world. At any one time, there could be around 11 million bits of information available to you. Yeah, that's a hell of a lot, isn't it? Do you think you could process 11 million bits every second? Yeah, per second. So what we have to do is we have to dull reality down a little bit. through a process of deletion, distortion, and generalization. Yeah. Now we've all deleted things. Yeah? What are we doing when we focus completely on a problem? We feel lost and hopeless, and that's the problem. What are we deleting? The solution. Yeah, we've deleted the solution. Arguments. We all argue with people at times, and and we're deleting. We get to a point, and somebody kind of goes, "All right, let bygones be bygones." We obviously agree to disagree, and then you don't stop because you keep going and going and going because you're deleting the part that they've kind of agreed with you on, but you're holding on to that one little bit. We all do it, yeah. Deleting opportunities. Yeah, there's no jobs anywhere in the whole world. Well, that's a lie. There are, but we're not looking for them. We're obviously deleting them. We're focusing on the lack of jobs. We're focusing on the things that we can't find. It's about changing focus. Distort. So anyone got the wrong end of the stick before? You sort of like you go off half cocked and you got the wrong end of the stick because somebody said something or done something the certain way, or you've come in halfway through a conversation and picked up the wrong bit. You actually have to distort everything you ever experience to understand it. That's why you're trying to explain something to someone and they'll kind of go, "Sorry, Ash, do you mean this? Do you mean it? Is that kind of similar to that?" What they're trying to do is they're trying to put it into a frame of reference where they can understand. Yeah. Generalization. Yeah. Because everybody, all the time, the whole world generalizes, don't they? That's quite general, wasn't it? That was everything, all the time. Everybody hates me. Nobody likes me. There's no opportunities. Yeah, I'm rubbish at everything. These generalizations. Okay. There was a guy, one of my trainers worked with, and he was some told quite a good-looking man, but never could get a girlfriend because he thought he was ugly. And when the trainer did the work with him and got back, he found out that his twin brother called him ugly when they were like 6. And he'd held on to that and thought, well, if he thinks I'm ugly, everybody thinks I'm ugly. Yeah. His twin brother. Yeah. Identical twin brother. All right, he's called him ugly, but generalized that. And once he got rid of that generalization, he realized, well, okay, not everyone's going to think that. Yeah. It's like everybody hates you. Well, I don't hate you. Yeah. Okay, well, you don't hate me, but everybody else. Well, there's 7 billion people in the world. I'm sure not everyone knows you well enough to hate you. Okay. Does that make sense? So we dull down reality. We run through some filters. Time, space, energy. There isn't matter there, but matter, that's what makes up the universe. We're all made of time, space, energy, and matter. If you're into quantum physics, essentially we're all little atoms bouncing together with space. Yeah. So there's actually, you look at the cells now, we look solid. Yeah, everything's solid. It's not. Yeah, there's space in between the atoms. Okay. Some people find it hard to get their head around it. Okay. But if you have a strong enough telescope, microscope, you can actually see space. Language, they're filters, so obviously that's important. Not just what language we speak or use, yeah, but actually the language that we hear, we experience, we say to ourselves. Memories, decisions, meta programs, values. We'll talk about values today, very important, and beliefs and attitudes. Yeah. So do you think your attitude to the world will determine how you experience the world? Makes sense, right? There's a thing called perception is projection. What you feel on the inside, what you see on the inside, what you have got in your mind, you can easily project out onto the world and find. Like those days where everyone's just an arsehole today. Everyone. Generalization, you're feeling it, you're projecting it. Okay. You'll always find those people. Okay. Just as easily as you'll find the good ones. Beliefs, your beliefs about life, your beliefs about how things should work, these all change our perception. Because I don't want to get too metaphysical, but this isn't real. If my 11 million bits are deleted, distorted, and generalized, okay, and I put them through all these filters that are all mine, specific to me, do you think that's the same as your reality? No. So all of our realities are different, right? And we should take some hope from that, because that realizes, well, actually, if I'm in charge of that, maybe I can change my reality. Maybe I can determine what's going on. project out good stuff. Yeah. Okay. I used to think bad stuff's going to happen all the time. Guess what? Bad stuff happened all the time. Now I think good stuff's going to happen all the time. Doesn't always happen, but I feel good. I think good. Majority of good things happen. Yeah. And then the things that I really want, I put goals in. I use my time on therapy. I use my techniques, and I go and get. Yeah. I've created things and I've destroyed things. And you've got to be, humble enough to look back and go, yeah, I cocked it up. Okay? But I'm going to learn from it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some better out in the future, and I'm going to go and get that. And I won't make the same mistakes because I've learned from it. Yeah. Build resilience. Okay. That's because we need an internal representation. Now, 126 bits is probably about all we could digest per second. Now, I'm no mathematician, but 11 million bits minus, it's probably easy to work out, 126 bits per second leaves a hell of a lot of information out there, doesn't it? Yeah? So that then is going to affect our state. So this is American, but a mood, we call it mood. It's going to affect our mood, our state of mind. Okay, that's then going to affect our physiology, and vice versa. Physiology can affect our state, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's why you can act your way out. Get up out of bed, stretch, go for a run. Look, strike a pose, do something to change up how you're feeling. Yeah, and you really don't want to. You don't feel like it, but you burst out and go and do it. So essentially, can everyone put a hand out? Left hand, right hand, whatever. Okay. Now imagine me putting one toothpick in your hand every second. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Now I put 10 toothpicks in your hand every second. Now I put 100 in your hand every second. And I put 126. Now I'm probably getting full now, yeah? Yeah. Then I'm going to put, a pack of toothpicks like 100, yeah? Then I'm going to put 1,000. Then I'm going to put 1,000,000. Then I'm going to put 10 million. Then I'm going to put, yeah? That's the point. So what we need to do is be able to process quickly. Boom, 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 boom. So those 126 bits are important. They're up to us. Okay. So I'll show you how to focus those bits so that you can get the useful ones. Yeah. Or if not, if it's in your memory, if it's in your experiences, look back. This is why two people could go through the same thing and have a completely different experience. Two people go for dinner. One absolutely loves it. The other doesn't. Yeah. Two people go on holiday, one loves it, the other one doesn't. Two people have the same problem. They lose a loved one or something. One person deals with it in one way, the other person does it completely different. Yeah, because we're all individuals. Right? So what I want you to do is write do on your, you should have this, write do on your, is it page 11?
Yeah. So,
because we do things. Yeah, we delete, distort, generalize, and we do. That's it. Because you've got to do something, right? So, that being said, what we're going to do. So, what we're going to do now is imagine that we're this person. Okay, we're going to experience one of these three things: winning the lottery, first kiss, 9/11 attacks. We're going to have 11 million bits of information that we experience for our visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. Then we're going to delete, distort, generalize, put it into 126 bits of information. That's going to affect our state, our physiology, etc. Go through our time, space, matter, energy, language, memories, decisions, meta programs, values, beliefs, attitudes. Then we're going to act. Could you do that consciously? No. So we're banging a drum for unconscious. Okay? So a lot of people behave unconsciously. They just do it. Habit. They just. Okay? You can change that. You can get in charge of that, but you need to understand how it works first. Then what we're going to do, we're going to invest money. We're going to go dancing. We're going to bond. Depends on what's going on. Yeah. Does that make sense, or am I losing anyone?
No.
Yeah, straightforward. I mean, it's quite complex. It's cramming it into a very, very short, the makeup of our communication and our minds, how we work. Okay, but this principle, everything I do stems on this. Because I understand this, when I work with a client, I know what's going on behind the scenes. Like a clock's ticking. Do you know how a clock works? I don't know. Yeah, I know how mine works. And if you know how your mind works, and you know how other people's mind works, you can put it to good use. Yeah. You can help them. So a lot of the coaching and the therapy I do, it's linguistic. It's all, you know, I don't need to sit down and write everything. I do in some aspects, yeah, but I can make very, very quick changes with people just by thinking a little bit ahead of them, thinking a little bit around their problems, you know, understanding how they're represented through their language, yeah? Tweaking and changing. Cool. Would you like that? Is that useful? A useful technique for you to go on with? Okay, and this is about observing yourself. You could go away and just forget about it, or you can go away and think about it. Yeah. Next time you have that negative experience, think, oh, okay, well, what's going on? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? How are my beliefs? How are my attitudes entering into this? Taking that objective look. Yeah? Cool. Any questions on that?
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
It's like saying walk. You know, me teaching you how to walk again.
Yeah.
I want you to put that left foot in a certain position. I want you this degree. All this stuff that you take for granted actually we break it down. But again, practitioner training is a week long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Master practitioner training is 2 weeks long. And that's with 60 hours of pre-study. So it's not, you're not expecting to learn it in 20 minutes. Okay. Lovely. Okay. So we mentioned the unconscious mind. What does it do? Prime directives of the unconscious mind are your unconscious mind stores your memory. So there's loads of things your unconscious mind does. It's an infinite list. Yeah. We're just giving you 5 here. It stores your memories. You don't think about storing your memories. You just have a memory and you just put it wherever. Yeah. It just goes somewhere. And then when you think about a memory, you just go and get it. Okay? There's a process that you're not doing that consciously. It's an unconscious process. Great for timeline therapy and get rid of things we don't want. We don't necessarily delete memories. We delete emotions. The unconscious mind stores memories and organizes memories. Okay, really useful for when we want to go and get rid of things that we don't want to carry anymore. A memory is just a memory. It's the emotion attached to the memory that can be a problem if it's negative. Keep all your good memories, right? Your unconscious mind represses memories with unresolved negative emotions. Okay, this is the basis of PTSD. So you go through a traumatic experience, could be life-threatening. If it's not, it could just be something that's very stressful and hurtful. But at the moment, you can't consciously process it. So what it does is it protects you, takes away your conscious thought and puts it somewhere. But then later on, you know, maybe it's not appropriate to whack your boss in the face. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's not appropriate to cry in the middle of Asda. Yeah. But you go away and then you might be in the shower and you get a bit welled up and then you go, no, you've done it before. You worked. No, shove it back down. Okay. And then it comes up again 2 weeks later. If you abuse the system too much, it will stop. And what it will do is it will come out a different way. It will manifest through your physiology. Yeah. Or it will turn into something else. Okay? So it's a really, really effective system because your unconscious mind then presents memories to your conscious mind to release negative emotions. Anyone into tarot cards? You ever heard of the Lover's card? Okay. So basically, it's a metaphor. It's a man and a woman facing each other in love. Yeah. And above is an angel. Okay. So in NLP we look at that as higher consciousness. Consciousness, unconsciousness, and higher consciousness. Okay, so a conscious mind, unconscious mind, and higher self. Now, the woman can look straight up at higher self, and the man has got a cloud over his head. Could be the other way around. But the point is, the conscious mind has to communicate with the unconscious mind, who can communicate directly with its higher self. The higher self can then communicate back to the unconscious, and the unconscious can communicate to the conscious one. That's in order to be able to present these emotions, because you don't need to carry them anymore. Yeah. So it's almost like your unconscious and your conscious talking to each other, saying, "Look, come back over here. I'm going to make you feel bad until you come and look at this, because you need to get rid of it." Your body hates stress. The central nervous system, it hates stress. We're designed for this. Do you know what stress is designed for? When we were cave people, if a saber-toothed tiger jumped out, that's the only stress that we're designed to deal with. Yeah. We're not designed to deal with a problem with your iPhone. We're not designed to deal with, relationship problems. We're not designed to deal with problems at work. We're not designed to deal with bullying. We're not designed to do any of that. That's why if we don't understand this and we don't trust this process, we don't use it, we can carry it. Yeah? So we need to understand how we can get that healthy and we can get it out. Your unconscious mind preserves the body, and that's the big thing. Yeah? So it breathes for you. It regulates your your heartbeat. It regulates your body temperature. Does all the things that you need. Digestive food. Okay, drives your car for you when you're not paying attention. Okay, you can't drive consciously. You can only drive unconsciously. You can't learn consciously. There's all this learning. So you will be taking on more than you think you do. Yeah, I don't want to train your conscious mind. It's only 10%. I want your unconscious. I want to delve in there and give you loads of little. Yeah, good. Are you confused right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. You're in the right place.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So when I spend a week with people training them, they go, "You're confused right? Great, you're in a perfect place." Because I don't want to deal with your conscious mind. It's too clunky. Yeah. I just want to bypass the conscious and go to the unconscious. And then maybe you walk away and then you feel different, you think differently, you act differently. And who knows, like me at that time, I went to, I knew I should have behaved differently, but actually, cool. That's because we said a neurotransmitter behaves every cell in the body. Now, this is just a picture of two neurons. Yeah. Now, we're all energy. Yeah. We're all energy, emotion. I'm giving you information now. It's coming in. Okay. You won't have everything. You might have this in your manual. You'll have everything because it's just a snapshot. I don't think you have it. Just because it's just a snapshot of the manual. So information comes in, which is electric. I'm giving you information. It's going to go through a neuron, in your brain, and then there's a synaptic gap there, which is a chemical. Have you ever seen those like old science things? You do that with a handle, and then it jumps a little current across, doesn't it? Yeah, that's essentially the synaptic gap. We're going to move. The information is going to pass through, and it's going to come out in however it comes out. So I'm giving you information. It's going to go in. It's going to press through the gap, and it's going to go off and do whatever. Okay? It's going to make changes. Now, they used to think that the mind was over there and the body was over there, and they were nothing to do with each other. Remember the man and the woman? The man's over there, the woman's over there, nothing to do with each other. Okay. Well, actually, they are. Yeah, because neurotransmitter plays every cell in the body. So they actually think that, look at that number there, 10th to the 10th to the 11th is the easiest way to say it. Okay. So these are possible neurological connections that you have. And it couldn't possibly just be in your mind. Okay. So they believe that actually runs through the whole body. Yeah, there's a hologram that runs through your body. That's why when you think about something that's got a motive, you don't feel it in your head, do you? Where do you feel it? Feel it in your body. Yeah. So this essentially is the mind-body connection. So everyone stand up. You happy to stand up? Actually, no, get down a bit. Okay, right. Oh, this is a nice stretch. Everyone's in rapport. Okay, maybe you need your hands free. That's okay. Okay, what you do is I just want you to put your hands out like this. Okay, and then, oh no, turn one of them over, turn your left hand over. Your everyone's left hand, yeah, brilliant. Okay, and what we do is go ahead and close your eyes. Okay, and what we want you to do is just imagine in your left hand that's palm up, you've got a nice heavy dictionary, or maybe, I don't know, 2 dictionaries. Okay? Real heavy dictionary, and then your right hand, that's the other way, I want you to imagine that there's a balloon, big balloon. Yeah, obviously balloons go up, and then obviously the big heavy dictionary goes down and down. Maybe we'll put another dictionary on, make it a little bit heavier. And the big blue balloon goes up and up and up. And the big heavy dictionary goes down and down and down. Even if you fight it, goes down even heavier. And then big blue balloon goes up and up and up. And open your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jess, that didn't work for you because you just spent your whole time sort of making up. Okay. Did you see it? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you wasn't doing that consciously, right?
No, I could tell it. I was trying to stop it.
Yeah. The interesting thing is the harder you try, the worse it gets. Yeah. So all I was doing is suggesting that you had an imaginary dictionary in one hand and big blue balloon type pulling at the other. That is your mind-body connection. So what have you been telling yourself over the years? Okay. So all those 10th to 10th, 11th neurological connections, that's all the, imagine that, put that into context. That's all the grains of sand, more than all the grains of sand in the whole world. More than all the known stars in the universe. Yeah. That's more than all the cars in traffic, when you drive down roads. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of connections going on all throughout your body. That every time we think, we direct. So do you think then, knowing this, we could give ourselves some clearer directions, some better instructions, like don't have a bad knee? Because what does a bad knee feel when you tell it's bad? Yeah, it feels bad again. Yeah, it feels like a naughty little knee. Snap it. Okay, so yes, give ourselves some healing suggestions. So I do this with pendulum. I see some miraculous healing in front of my eyes. Yeah, because they give clear instructions to your body. Yeah, to heal. Focus on feeling good. Focus on not being pain-free, not being happy. Not being not miserable. Yeah, you can't not do something. Yeah? Okay, you've got to be really clear. Interested?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Any questions on neurotransmitter? Mind-body connection. Easy way to put it. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Do you want to take a seat for a second? You understand, or you want to take a seat?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
You're going to stand back up again in a minute.
No, I've not got any plans for it. But yeah.
No cartwheels.
No, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm such a taskmaster, aren't I? Yeah. This one might be hard sat down. You might enjoy it. Okay. Lovely. So, who's responsible for the changes we make then?
We are.
We are. Yeah, brilliant. Sometimes someone said, I heard someone say, "Oh, I'm talking about responsibility and problems," and I said, "How do you do your problems?" And somebody said, "Do? I don't do my problems. They just happen." And I said, "Okay, well, when's the last time somebody popped around and did your problems for you?" We're same person at the crime scene, yeah. If we make the same problems and the same mistakes every time, the same, and over the years, you could blame everybody else, or you could go, actually, the same person at the crime scene. There could be some responsibility there, yeah. So it's about taking responsibility for the future and for the changes. So glad you're all in agreement. So if you can go ahead and close your eyes. Okay, will you just close your eyes? And just relax the muscles around your eyes. And just make them so relaxed that you can't relax them anymore. And while holding on to that relaxation, really hold on to that relaxation. Let your face just be relaxed. Test your eyes and make sure you can't open them. Really make sure you can't open those eyes. And while holding on to that relaxation, just enjoy it for a few moments before you come back from wherever you've been and open your eyes and really open your eyes and feel good. How was that? Who did that? Yeah. Who did it? Me or you? Yeah. Now, I had no power over you if you open your eyes or not, but you followed instructions. You tested your eyes and you made sure you couldn't open them. If I told you to make sure you can open them, you probably would open them. Right? Okay, so this is the demystifying and hypnosis and stuff like that. In the current law, there's only self-hypnosis. If there wasn't self-hypnosis, you could walk into a bank, you could rob it, murder somebody, do whatever, and then just say, "Oh, somebody hypnotized me a bit." It ain't gonna wash. Okay, so there's only self-hypnosis. So that's somebody facilitating the changes by suggesting things and you collaboratively going along with it. As I said, if I can make changes in people and make changes, I'd be making a lot more money, right? You know, or I'd be floating some money. Okay. Cool. Enjoy that? Yeah. Good. So that being said, then. Right, empowerment, the last one to focus on. So the reason why I did that exercise is so you understand that I'm not doing anything to you. Okay, it's all down to your your participation. But two, it's about empowerment. If you came to me and paid me loads of money and said, "Look, just clear up my problems," great, I could do it. You walk away. How empowered are you going to be? Because when there's more problems, you're just going to go, "Ash, can you save me again?" Yeah. So you need to understand that actually the whole world, everything we experience is cause and effect. Yeah, it's basic premise of the universe. Okay, quantum physics. Things will act. If I throw something, it will go in a preordained direction, just the way it is. Yeah. So think of causes in your life. Put it into problems. Yeah. You have a problem as a cause. Yeah, there's something causing you a problem. Could be a boss, could be a relationship, could be a problem. Something inside, something that you do every day that's causing you a problem. There's an effect to that, isn't it? There's an effect because essentially, what's happening to you? And if I said to you, okay, so your boss is picking on you, you've got a problem, whatever, just don't have a problem. Yeah. Get to from the effect side, because at this side you're going to get reasons. You're going to tell me that you can't do it because you ain't got enough money, you ain't got enough time, you ain't got enough energy. Yeah, you don't believe me, whatever it might be. You don't feel good enough. You don't live the life I live, so you can't understand. That's what happens, right? We all do it. So you give reasons why you can't solve a problem. On the cause side of the equation, you get results. Yeah. It's like in business, right? You can't take reasons to the bank. Has anybody owed any money before? Yeah, not just. You owed money, right? And then you ring them up and you say, "Look, I can't pay you because might not be your mate or your family, but say like a debt collector. I can't pay you because the cat's sick. I've lost my job. Boom, 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 boom." The the reasons they don't care about. They just want their money. That's like the universe. Yeah, the universe doesn't care about your reasons for not doing what you want or having what you want. The universe only cares about the results, what you do. Okay. So if we can get from the effect side of the equation to the cause side of the equation, we can get some results, some positive results, and that'll empower you to make changes. That'll empower you to live your life in a better way. In a not a better way, in a way that will give you what you want. Easy to say. Which side are you on?
Can you do both?
Yeah. So you can be both sequentially. So one after the other. So you can go from effect to cause, like in a heartbeat, but you can't do both simultaneously. But yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. So you can remember the grey zone, that up and down. That's cause and effect. Yeah. You go through that sort of, you hit a snag, you might go really bad, then you do something, you get to effect and you go really good. And then after a while, you get in the grey zone. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you pick back up again, drop down. It happens. So it's easy. It sounds easy, right? Easy for me to say, easy for whatever. Now for me, there's a guy called Viktor Frankl. He was an Austrian psychiatrist who, during the Second World War, was imprisoned in multiple concentration camps, and obviously a bad time to be Jewish in 1940s. Yeah. Now he survived. He survived the concentration camps, and he was already a psychologist, so he had a bit of an understanding of how the mind works. And he spent the rest of his life helping people get from the effect side to the cause side. Now, it's easy for me to say, but it's easy for him to say. He lost his whole family. His sister was only person, his wife, his whole family, his parents, the lot. Yeah. He had the opportunity to go to America and flee the Holocaust, but he chose to stay with his family. But when I think about inspirational stories, it's not saying, "Oh, your life's bad, my life's worse than yours," or such. It's about what can you take from other people's journeys. So he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. Okay, man is in mankind, not being sexist. Yeah, it's a very, very good read, very, very powerful. It's about. It doesn't go heavily into his experiences in concentration camps because he said that there's enough of that's been written. Yeah, he wanted to share the learnings that he took from it. And in the book, he says, everything can be taken from a man, except the last of human freedoms, the freedom to choose your own attitude in any given certain circumstances, the freedom to choose your own way. Now, I think that's easy to say, but if you've been through that, and one of his experiences was he was, during his incarceration, he was walking along in the camp, and he looked on the wire, and there was a little robin on the wire, and there was a nice sunset, and he thought, well, I'm in a terrible position, I'm getting beaten, death is literally around the corner, but what he realized is that the Nazis couldn't take away his freedom to enjoy that moment, no matter what they did to him. Yeah, he couldn't take it away from him. So in all that adversity, found that one little bit of, well, actually, my thoughts. They can do what they want to me. They can't touch my thoughts. Yeah. And again, he actually went on, worked with people because he said, death was easy. He could have just, he didn't have to survive. He could have chose to just, give up and die. Yeah. And then afterwards, when he got hit with all this flood of emotions, remember what we said, the unconscious mind brings his emotions up. He said, well, if I let this destroy me now, I might as well have just died on day one. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some learnings from it, and take some meaning. Yeah. What was the point in surviving? So you're here today. You've moving through life. Yeah. What are you here for? What is your meaning in life? What is your, and it's not necessarily about what life can give to you. It's what you can give to life. Yeah. What can you bring to the table? Remember that perception, projection, communication model. So I think our attitude is down to us. Our beliefs are down to us. Yeah. Not from a young age, you get imprinted, but now it's like, right, okay, I'm going to make some changes. I can change my beliefs. I can change my attitude. I can change my actions. Any questions on that? Yeah. Yeah. Worth a read. Man's Search for Meaning. Yeah, Viktor Frankl's been a very, very inspirational story for me.
What's his name?
Viktor Frankl. I've actually been to his house in Vienna. No, unfortunately, I was about 30 years too late, but it was in Vienna. And actually, so it's a museum. He turned his original flat into a Viktor Frankl museum, and next door is his second wife, who still lives there. So they bought the flat next door, and she still lives there. But yeah, for me, it was like full circle, because I thought I'd had a bad day. I thought I had all the problems. I thought nobody lived the life nobody's experienced what I've done. I've done this. Okay. And for me, it was like, right, if he can do it, and many others can do it, maybe I've got a chance. Maybe I've got a shot. And it's about hope. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So who's responsible for value then? So if you're responsible for change, who's responsible for the value that you get in life?
Yeah.
Well, your values. Yeah, you are. Yeah. So what about a client in coaching? Who's responsible? Is it the coach that's responsible for the value they get, or is it the client? The client, yeah. I can't make you do anything. I can give you gold dust, but what you do with it is up to you. Yeah? When you buy a blender, everyone got those blenders all singing, I'm going to do a juicing diet, I'm going to be amazing, spend all this money on it. And then you use it once and realize it's hard to clean, so you don't get any value out of it. Is it the company's fault that sold you it, or yeah? What about when you buy a car? Yeah, I've got multiple vehicles I don't drive. Okay, and I still got to pay for them. Okay, but whose fault's that? It's not about fault. This is about looking at responsibility. So looking about what value we get out of it. Yeah. What about when you go out for dinner? Now this is a tricky one. People go, "Oh, the restaurant should be good, and the staff should be good, and I should have an amazing experience when I walk in." Well, actually, perception is projection, right? How you go into that situation and how you look at things. The food might not be great, but the service is brilliant. Yeah, the food and the service is not great, but your family, your friends that you're with is a great experience. It's what you look at, isn't it? It's the value you get out of it. What about when you purchase a service? You'll love paying your bills. No, me neither. But actually, go and don't pay your electric bill until that happens. Yeah, I'm sure after a week of no electric, you'll be really willing to go and pay that bill. I'm not doing that again. Yeah. Okay, and that leads me on to when you take a training or when you're here, when you're doing this. Yeah, who's responsible for the value that you? Now you're like, you're setting us up now. But essentially, that's what I say to people. Some people become a shelf developer. They do a training, they close the thing and put it on the shelf, and that's it. They let it gather dust. Oh, that was good. Take at least one thing from today and implement it in your life that's going to make a positive change. I'd love for you to do at least that, but it's up to you, isn't it? Yeah. So let's have a break. Hey, top points. I haven't got any Kit Kats. They were too expensive. So okay.